Add me to stream. That's all right. I got Yosemite back there. My buddy, my partner. Let's get rid of this. There we go. May 26th, HIA Trade Show. You guys got that one. All good. Settled in. Comb the hair. One day. Not today. Got a new printer. That's the box that's back there. Whatever. Took a little bit longer to get set up than I thought. Hey, so be it. That's all right. Something had to do with my typing passwords. Crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. So this is the big week. And actually, next week is a big week too. We just keep moving along with so many different things. But what's the common tie-in on the whole thing? The common tie-in really has to do with careers. Always does, should, all the rest of that stuff. Man, it's, happy enough to say that I get an opportunity to work on this side of things without having to worry too much, about what comes back, this way for me and that kind of stuff. So that's not really a big deal. I do some of the other things beside behind the scenes, that you're going to hear more about, bring a little bit more forefront about my own personal stuff. But really enjoying this whole idea of finding opportunities to help identify careers, talk about the excitement of these careers, speak to students about these careers, and then highlight different programs that come up every so often. Where we get a chance to talk about some of the companies that are offering unbelievable opportunities because it makes sense to them and they need that. And it's not like the do-gooder kind of thing. This has to do with real business looking to grow, looking to continue to adapt, looking continue to be able to achieve different goals that they have. The growth opportunities are out there. So many things are changing. Gosh, in the last 2 years, I started this thing like 2 years ago. And, it was pre-COVID. It wasn't pre-COVID. It was like in the beginning of COVID. All right. It was like, oh, what's going to change? Well, you know what? That was a stupid question. Well, it was what was going to change. It was what's going to stay the same. What has stayed the same? Not many things. Truly, truly, not many things. The way many people approach careers that were working, totally different. Could work from home, work remote, go into this office every once in a while for a meeting, stuff like that. But even then, it's like, well, wait a second. This digital format, meeting on some of these platforms, whether it be Microsoft Teams, whether it be Zoom, whatever. It's like, hey, you could do that. Maybe this whole thing, but StreamYard. I use StreamYard. It could be a number of different companies could have used for this thing. It's just easy to do. Easy. Cost savings for businesses, huge, across the board. Across the board. Ultimately, what does it do? It helps out the communication department, doesn't it? It's so much easier to talk to a larger group of people in this digital format. Piece of cake easy. Got to be comfortable doing it. Okay. That's the tie in there with Toastmasters. Some of the other things, but really with the tie in with Toastmasters and to help give you the confidence on the communication skill. So that's there. But businesses have looked at this, and I've seen many businesses look at this thing. It's like, oh, it's so much easier. I did speak to someone that is a salesperson, does an awful lot of paperwork. You know what? Now you get a chance to do this paperwork digitally. Oh, I get the learning curve. I lived through it without a doubt. That first month or so working from a remote location, home, was painful, absolutely painful. And then getting used to using all of these different document systems and trying to figure out what I could fill out, what they have to fill out, if what can be signed. Some people don't want it signed. Some people still want it mailed. Mailing it to, all the rest of that kind of stuff. I get it. I get it. All that painful transition was there. But it's a transition. So what stayed the same? If you were a salesperson over the last couple of years, what stayed the same for you? Providing value, of course. Beyond that, how you do business changed up quite a bit. The social acceptability of doing things digitally like this, fantastic. Well received. In the business side and the career side of things, the job interview side of things, it's here. And you want to know something? I like it. I always have liked the video, but there was one company that I interviewed for, and the first level interview on that, besides sending in a resume and that kind of stuff, was a video. And this is, I'm going to say it's 7 years, 8 years ago, something like that. It was for an institution, and they had questions that I was supposed to respond to, and I had 2 shots at it. So set up the room in the back over here, make sure I put the right books behind me, not the vacation photos, anything like that. Wasn't as planned as this actually. I was trying to tell a story with this stuff in the room. But I put that stuff up. So that went up and recorded twice. I had to speak to a machine. Read the question, did the recording. If you like the recording, you keep it. If you wanted to do it again, you did it again. That kind of thing. It wasn't a conversation. I personally like speaking to somebody. But job interviews, doing them digitally like this, doing them online like this, having a real conversation with somebody, that's part of it now. Got to get comfortable with it. How many more candidates could a company interview? Probably more. How many more companies could you interview at? Probably more. Maybe it's different locations too. I'm thinking here, if you're sitting here in New York and you want to interview for a company that's based out in California, Midwest, down in Florida, someplace else, even if it's in this city and I'm on Long Island, you don't have to travel in. If you really didn't want to travel in, you might not really want to interview at that company if you do have to go into the office or whatever their facility is. But you're able to do this thing. You're able to do that quite a bit more. There's a little side note here. I don't get this ghosting thing, this candidate ghosting. You interview for a company, you get accepted into the company, you don't show. What is that all about? I don't get that. I don't get that. That is a disintegrity thing. Man, just kind of falling by the wayside. Really tempted to talk about that whole thing. But the interview process has changed quite a bit. You're speaking to somebody, that's the same, but the value you provide, that's the same. But how you go about doing this, amazing, absolutely amazing. If you own a franchise, if you have a business that's in multiple locations, maybe it's not a franchise, but you just have multiple locations, you want to speak to your managerial staff, boom, you can get everybody together. Maybe there's a few time zone considerations in there. Somebody's got to make a concession with that one, but it's there. It's there. It's easy to do. You don't have to fly everybody all over the place to make that happen. Trade shows. We'll talk about trade shows. Good afternoon, Kat. We'll talk about trade shows. In fact, let's spend a good amount of time here talking about trade shows because you might know that there's one coming up. We could also talk about meetings, and you sit down and speak to somebody. Shake hands, fist bump. Got this trade show coming up. I'm not sure if I'm shaking hands or fist bumping. Very confusing. Then there's going to be a lot of folks wearing masks, not wearing masks. What do? You want to know something? It's whatever makes you comfortable is really what you do in real life because everything's socially acceptable now, which is amazing. I just think that's amazing. And it's last comment, there's things that everything has changed. It's all changed so much. Where do you live now? If you could work remotely, you live wherever you want to live. You don't have to live in the city if you don't want to. You could live out in suburbia someplace. You can live in Connecticut someplace. You can live in Vermont someplace. Heck, if you really like getting up early, you can live in California, work in New York. Can you imagine? I can't imagine that, actually. I interviewed at a company one time that was in California. If I took this position, I would have been in California. Gosh, this goes back a long time ago. Long time ago. And if I took this position, I would have moved to California. I was managing an office. I would have moved to California, but I would have operated on Eastern time, New York time, Eastern time. It's not everything's all about New York. Eastern time. Mr. Martinez, good to see you, my friend. Nice shots at the house. Love that drone. Hope you're feeling better, man. So Imitate, you get the 3-hour time difference, and then you're operating on New York time. You're done at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. 1 o'clock in the afternoon, you're done. Maybe 2 o'clock in the afternoon, you're done. You got the whole afternoon, evening. Remember, sunsets out in California too. I'd be a surfer dude, without a doubt. I'm sure be out there. Either surfer dude or a marathon runner on the beach, something like that. Or maybe I learned about paragliding. Or maybe, who knows? Who knows? But the point is that this has allowed us so much more freedom. And it's probably made it a lot more difficult if you were a business owner and are trying to figure it out. But if you're a business owner and you figured it out, now you got all kinds of potential. Because now, if you do need somebody that does not have to be in the office, that understands you really can be just as effective in a lot of the stuff that we do by going in a digital format, man, you don't have to look for employees that are within some commutable distance. God, there was another one. I was I gotta do this. It was years ago. Years ago, perhaps an opportunity to work in one of the Midwestern cities. So I spoke to a real, and I'm living here on Long Island. So I spoke to, it's just so funny too. I wish I saw this guy's face. So he's like, "What's the company?" Told him the company. Where's it based? Told him where it was based. And he's like, "Well, what's your situation right now?" Told him the value of the home, and it's not an expensive home, but I told him the value of the home, relatively speaking, whatever. I told him the value of the home, and he's like, "Well, what kind of commute do you have?" I said, "It's 2 hours." He's like, "Two hours total?" I was like, "No, it's 2 hours in and 2 hours home." I said, "Where do you think I could live with that budget and commuting time?" He goes, "Anywhere you want." Anywhere in the Midwest. It didn't make a difference. Anyway, you want it. The whole thing is like, man, we live in such a different world over here, or at least used to. Now, all of a sudden, it has become quite the level, more of a level playing field within those constraints. Within those constraints. Has it become a level playing field for everybody? No. We'll hit on that one on a separate topic. Kind of looking at having guests on again. Maybe we could touch on some of those other subjects that are out there, but there are certain positions that really you don't need to be in the office. Gosh, I remember being in an office full of sales folks, right? And one manager approached the whole thing. She said, "Oh, I wanted everybody there 9 to 5 at the desk on the phone." And I'm thinking, that's ludicrous. That's ludicrous. If you're in sales, hey, Mike, afternoon. You can see me as a surfer, yeah. But, happy birthday. Uh, but that's ludicrous. Can you imagine if you're a sales office, a pure sales office, right? Everybody's in sales. Where do you want your salespeople to be? In the office doing paperwork on the phone? No, no. Where do you want them to be? You want them to be with the customers, with the prospects, knocking on doors, dare I say, or out in the field and getting to see and know people, maybe attending these trade shows, other events, and things like that. Developing relationships, not on the phone. That's not really it. So I was like, man, that changes. But here, and this is like, oh, well, how can you, use video and like the rest of that stuff if you're speaking to clients? It's like, you know what? You can develop relationships. It's just not that good, if you're on video as opposed to sitting down and, shaking someone's hand and really getting to know them. You know something? You're right. You don't have that personal touch that's there. And if you need that personal touch with all of your managers, with all of your sales folk all the time, just to disseminate information, just to show them that you care and you're part of what's going on, I think you're missing the boat. Yeah, absolutely. Getting together with people face to face sometimes absolutely makes sense. But herein lies the thing. If this is so much easier to communicate with, and you're a manager and you got multiple locations, why not use it? You could meet with everybody, quote unquote, digitally, meet with everybody much more frequently. Open line of communication. Open line of communication. And I can tell you that will help. I've had experiences in the past trying to build some projects, stuff like that. We only got together every so often. And I'm talking the core group of people, not a networking event, anything like that. I'm talking the core group of, like that mastermind group, of folks that all had a vested interest in the success of it, for their own reasons, etc. But we didn't get together terribly often. It was always a challenge, and it was always 70% or so of the folks could make it, and some people couldn't make it, for a wide variety of reasons. That's what happens when you work with a bunch of type A people. Everybody's all over the place. It's hard. It's hard, but it is much easier if you to do this digitally. So I think the potential is there. So that's the caring. Now, obviously, you want to build something, you speak to people more frequently. Boom, you're going to get everybody's opinions that much quicker. That much quicker. If it's a business and you're a manager and you're able to do this much more frequently, if everybody can't make every meeting, it's okay, because you're not having a meeting once every 6 months where it's like, oh my gosh, you got to attend. If you're having a meeting once a month and it's short and there's no real money involved on the whole thing, and if it's an hour meeting, it's an hour meeting, it's an hour meeting. It's not a 1 hour meeting. And then you got to fly everybody in and the hotels and all this, that kind of stuff. Even feeding people, there's nothing. Keep that line of communication open and do it that way. All right, here is what's coming up. Where are we at? We're at 18 minutes. Let's dedicate the rest of this thing to what's going on this week and this past weekend. One big shout out. Yay. Ron Loveland. The guy is absolutely, I think he's terrific with what he's doing. He's the co-chair of the manufacturing committee. He's really making a big push at this HIA trade show, which is May 26th, which is Thursday. It's from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Free to attend. You just got to register at www.hia-li.org. And so this is a great opportunity for people that are in that career transition, thinking about what do I want to do, for a living. And that's where it's great for the students. It's a tough time of the year for the high school students. So I think it's a little bit of a miss from a timing standpoint on that. Okay. The manufacturing committee is going to have their open house again in October. So that'll be a focus on the students there. College students, bit more flexibility as that goes, maybe they can attend. I know if I was looking to get into the manufacturing world or to see what that's about, or maybe be a graphic artist in the manufacturing world, or maybe in PR or marketing in the manufacturing world, or maybe in the automotive engineering section in the there's a lot of possibilities with these manufacturers, isn't there? Even building maintenance, all the rest of that kind of stuff. It's there, design, sales, everything. So if I was looking, I'm in transition, or I'm looking, to graduate, this year, let me tell you, it's a great opportunity. That's the message we've been putting out over there. So Ron's been talking about that quite a bit, given the fact I'm a board member of the ECNY Foundation, given the fact that I like to talk about careers here on Long Island, given the fact that this is a huge potential, huge opportunity for so many people, it just really made sense. And who else saw that? Scott Pizzazza. So Scott had us on this it's recorded now, so you could listen to it. But Scott Pizzazza, radio job line on LI News Radio, a JVC broadcasting station. Got that commercial in there for you guys. He had Ron and I on, and so we got a chance to talk, for the full hour about manufacturing on Long Island, some of the misconceptions that go along with it too. It's such a big variety of companies that are in manufacturing, and they're here. You got everything from aerospace, drug manufacturing, metal manufacturing, and a multitude of other different areas that are here. And all these companies need all kinds of people doing all kinds of things in there to make that final product. You've heard me interview a few of the other companies, and you know what? There's a lot going on in these companies. So it's not just, I don't want to work on an assembly line. Okay, you don't have to. Even a metal company, it's not an assembly line thing. You've got to be creative. They're looking to hire creative people in there to work with the customers, because they make a lot of products that are unique to that customer. Somebody's got to design it. So it's there. So Scott had us on. We were talking about that. We'll put the link up for this thing afterwards, this way you can listen to it. It's on SoundCloud now. So Scott, thank you very much. The whole JVC team over there, they've been good. They've been helpful throughout the years. I understand that they will be represented at the trade show, doing interviews, things like that. I am hoping that one individual is there. I'd like to chat with him about some of the progress I've made in a certain area. He had asked me to be the sports announcer on his program, and I accepted, denied, whatever. I didn't know anything about sport. I didn't know sports enough where I could do the chit chat kind of a thing. I kind of regret not doing it, but it was the right thing to do. It was his show. I just couldn't do it. But anyway, we'll get him caught up as to what's going on. But they've been really good. A number of the other media companies will be down there too. So that in that respect, that'd be really great. But doing these things, you learn so much. One, over the last 6 months, got involved a little bit more on that automotive side of things, right? And it's like the careers that are in automotive. Man, what I didn't know, and I'm still seeing over here. In fact, I ran across another company over here. I think they're building race cars. Where? In Lindenhurst. In Lindenhurst. We don't have a racetrack on Long Island that they could race those cars. I don't even know where they test those cars, right? And but it's they're here in Lindenhurst. There's another company. It's a composite company a little bit further out. I'm told they're making body parts for some of these race cars that are like super high end, not super high end stuff. Racing engines all over the place. How many automotive? How many racing automotive companies are here on Long Island? I don't know either. No response on that one. I don't know. But it seems like every time I turn on Facebook or go to Google, because Google knows more than I know, because Google keeps sending me stuff, it seems like there's one company after another, especially those Google ads. James, is that you behind those Google ads? Another Google ad that shows up every once in a while. It's like, oh, Brian, and that kind of thing. Fantastic. The manufacturing side of it, too. Thousands of companies. It's like 3,000 companies, 3,000 manufacturing companies on the island, right? And we're like, oh, Grumman's gone and aerospace is done. Defense is done. No. Is it as big as what Grumman was over here? Especially if you go back decades, after World War II, and everybody was still here and they were still building, the jets here and things like that. No, it's not that big, but I can tell you, it's sizable. It really is. And you want to meet with some of these companies? HIA trade show. And that's it. All right, let me get back to the rest of the trade show here. I got to keep focusing on it. And let's go with the should you meet in person or digital, right? The rest of the trade show, regular trade show, a couple of hundred different vendors. My guess is they're sold out. They had like 4 booths left, something like a week ago. So I'm sure that, that's done. I think there'll be a couple of things outside also. Not sure what the final status was with the food trucks, but definitely going to be food there. We'll see if there's some giveaway food on the inside, stuff like that. So register, go, bring your business cards. You got to meet everybody. It'll be good. It'll be good. Hopefully the weather is good too. This way we can spread out a little bit, outside also, which is always nice. That was one thing I really loved about last year, is the fact we were able to sit outside also, not just be inside. So it was changed the vibe of the thing there, a little bit, so that was definitely good. Definitely good. Some full-blown trade show, put on your, get out of your Zoom clothes. You gotta wear pants for this one. I gotta find my dress shoes. I haven't put on a pair of dress shoes in forever. I've gone to some of the outdoor network events. I put on sneakers, whatever. This one, we'll see. Maybe I'll put on dress shoes to make that work. But here's the difference. And let's use this trade show, any trade show, as an example of digital versus, in person. Digital trade show. Will this work as a digital trade show versus an in-person trade show? No, I think this is an in-person trade show is better. Why? Because it's geographically driven, right? It's the Long Island area Hauppauge Industrial Association trade show. It's really meant to bring the whole community together, the business community together, various networking, all the rest of that, wide variety of people. Do you know who you're going to meet? No. You can go to their Facebook page, the 34th annual, it's on Facebook group page, 34th annual HIA trade show. Maybe, you can put your stuff up over there, but it will people meet you that way, but you don't know who you're going to run across. Kind of industries there. There's various pavilions, which is great. You got XYZ, like 8 different pavilions or 10 different pavilions, and they all have a different focus. So the point is, there's a wide variety of people there. And by going and seeing people, you get a chance to meet a wide variety of people. I think where a digital show would work out more if it was a very, very focused, and I'm going to use this as the example, but it was a very, very industry specific trade show that had a global reach. I think there's something there for the digital trade shows. And here's the difference. Let's assume that this was a chocolate dessert trade show. That's all it was. That's all it was. It was just purely focused on chocolate-based desserts. Who's going to that? Are you going to get a wide variety of people attending that thing? No. You may get a few chocolate lovers, not on the business side, but no, you're not. You're going to get some chefs attending this thing, probably chefs attending it, high-end restaurants, high-end hotels, different pastry companies, obviously all kinds of different folks that manufacture chocolate in all different sizes, shapes, colors, cocoa content, everything like that. But when you go to that show, you're going to go there with a true purpose. You're going to go there knowing who you want to meet with. You're going to go to that show knowing exactly what it is. You're not going to go there wondering who you're going to meet with. You're going to go to that show because you are going to want to meet with specific vendors that fit in with whatever your goal is with that one. That is something that could work digitally. And I know one of you are, wow, but you can't taste it. Yes, you can. First off, it's all good. There's no, all the food's good. That's not going to be it. All right. So that's not really it. You want to see what it looks like. Yeah, absolutely. If you need samples and stuff like that, I am sure those companies would be more than happy to mail you samples of whatever it is. And the cost associated with this thing and the availability of this thing is just so much better. Look, if they had a chocolate festival that was real, a chocolate trade show that was really that specific, and you're all around the world, you're going to it. You don't have to go anyplace. You're just going to it. What are you putting behind you? Where are you showing your video from? Your place. Absolutely your place. You're showing that off. You got all your desserts that you made or products or whatever, you have right then and there. You're going to be able to speak to restaurants, hotels all around the world. Boom. All digitally. It's there. The follow-up with it, you can take it from there. You do whatever follow-up you need to do. But now it's very, very specific, and you're going there for a reason. So these general trade shows, I definitely think should be done in person. This one I'm really looking forward to. It's been a while. And then the something more specific, I think you could do the other way. So that's where that one goes. So basically, if you're really giving out information, digital. If you're looking to meet a wide variety of people, the other way around. And the same thing holds true if you're a business owner and you got multiple locations. If you're looking to disseminate information, you don't need to get everybody together. If you're looking to introduce new employees to other employees, you know what? That's something that certainly makes more sense to do on an in-person event as that happens. All right, so here we go. www.hia-li.org. Just register. Good. I'll be down there for the day. We'll see about doing this thing 1:00 somehow. Who knows? We'll do it. Who knows? Maybe we'll just play a recording and make it work that way. Again, big thanks to Scott Possessor for having Ron and I on the program over there, and some of the others that have helped to share this whole thing. My good friend Arthur Gervain, you'll meet him at the trade show. We'll be discussing a few things. The other media companies, of course, Hallie, Anthony Forgione, Terry Maselli, and the rest of the team over there putting this thing together. I know it's a good amount of work being put into this thing. So the weather folks will participate. It'll be nice weather. not too hot, not too cold. You know, get the Goldilocks thing going on over there. You know, you got the vendors. It'll be all be good. Have a great time. I'm certainly looking forward to that. So we'll see everybody tomorrow, and we'll see where we go with this thing a little bit more. I'm going to finish up with the printer over here, make sure that works. You all have a great day. Mike, especially, enjoy the day. Happy birthday, Ms. Martinez. We'll see you. Hopefully, we'll see you on Thursday. And hey, Karen, thanks again for joining us here today. And we'll put the link up. I'll leave this thing go for a little bit. I'll put the link up for the, program we did with Scott. That's kind of cool. All right, let's go. Let's go back over there. Oh, we still got the microphone on. It won't say anything bad. All right, here we go. Here we go. Oh, I went to shul this morning. I had a photo taken there. And there's that. That. And my pleasure, Mike. Take a photo today. That's the link to it. You should just be able to click on it. And that'll work. HIALI.org. There we go. And let's put that up over there too. All right. Enjoy the rest of the day, and we'll speak to everybody tomorrow.